Hi everyone, from me, Brent Graham, and welcome to this my second poker vlog. I've taken a little bit of a break from poker, but I'm back the last couple of weeks. Just found I was spending too much time playing it, and I was pretty busy work-wise, but very much back in full swing at the moment. Right, let's start by just saying this is powered by goodforthegame.co.za. If you enjoy your sports betting and particularly your rugby betting, pop onto Good for the Game, and you could also find a link to our weekly newsletter with Best Bet down below. If you do enjoy this poker vlog, please hit the like button. It helps the channel a lot, as does, of course, subscribing to the channel. Well, I'm on pokerbet.co.za, and you to open an account with Pokerbet, click on the link in the description box below. Right, that's the formalities out the way. Let's get into this action. I'm playing a tournament that had a 40 Rand buy, and I came in pretty late in the day. I think we were at about I think you can rebuy into the 12th level, or we were probably in around about the 8th level when I got involved. I bought in for 80 Rand. I had a rebuy to start with, and then lost fairly quickly and ended up buying him for another 80. So I'm in for a total of 160. And we joined the action with me sitting a third out of 19 active players at the moment. And let's take a look what happens. Right, I'm dealt here in this hand of ace, six of hearts. I have sped the play up a little bit there. There also are one or two editing issues for me, which I'll have to get the better of, so please excuse that. But I raise up under from the ace six there, three times the blind, and get a fold and get a couple of calls there. I do hit the six here, obviously, so I've got two pairs with a top kicker here, and decide to get fairly aggressive at this point and go in there for what is effectively about a half pot bet there, and take that one down. I just want to pause it here just for a sec, just to show you this hand. This happened soon afterwards. The only reason I showed, I was dealt the 4-7 of spades. I folded. There was quite a bit of action. Well, there was a little bit of action early on in the pot, but it's always the worst thing to see. I would have had a straight flush, but of course, yeah, no good if you fold it. But just always like to show these sort of hands that you get from time to time. That is that. Then this particular hand, I've got no idea why I left it in, but I may as well run it through anyway. I'd folded, not sure what I had. But anyway, there's actually a full house on the table here, and I think a jack pops out next on the river, and yeah, that's pretty much it. But just to mention, there's a guaranteed 2,000 Rand put up by Pokerbet this tournament, and you'll see every now and again as we go along, I do jump and have a look at the prizes there. Let's see who takes that hand down. Right, now we jump. I'm sitting 6 of 18 at the moment. I get dealt ace, jack, and let's have a look at what happens. Yeah, I'm sitting in the big blind at the moment. Blinds are 600, 1,200. Folds all the way around to fully 101 and fully 101. What's he going to do here? Give him a chance. He's taking his sweet time. Fully 101. Just makes the call. I decide to raise it up in this position. I trust I do at any rate, because that certainly should have been my move. And I do raise it. He makes the call. He then goes all in after the flop. I've got nothing here, and I fold. Now, just interested in thinking about the way I played this hand. Perhaps could have gone a bit more aggressively earlier, and also potentially a bit of a weak fold there. Although I suppose he was all in at the end of the day, and yeah, it would have been probably quite hard for me to beat him. Right, I've got 8-4 now, and in fact, this hand I'm just going to skip ahead, because there's definitely nothing to see here from my perspective. Now, in this hand, I'm dealt King 9, currently sitting 5th out of 16. I've had two folders in front of me. I just call here at 2,000, which is now the big blind, and get a couple of folds. At this stage, I could perhaps have raised with King 9. I don't know why. King 9 is always a hand I quite enjoy. Always got a good feeling about it. It's certainly by no means the strongest hand out there. And at the end of the day, we get a flop here. I do have two. Well, I've got one overcard here in the king, and we'll see how the other guys are going to play. Is pretty much going to determine my action here. I get checked all round, and I decide to bet half pot here, 4,600. And obviously, I'm hoping here that the guys fold panic stations. Well, let's hope he hits the panic button and folds. He's taking quite a bit of time to think about it, but at the end of the day, he does indeed fold. And is it Sasha? 888 folds as well. I'll take that down. I think that was quite a nice bet, that one. Right, now I'm dealt pocket checks. Now at this point, let me stop to say that I get the call from my wife. When I started this tournament, one of the things when you start a tournament, you've always got to make sure you've actually got the time to finish the tournament. That's one thing. If you're in South Africa as well, you've probably got to make sure you've got power in that as well. But in this particular case, I started the tournament and I didn't really think about it. And at this point, I get the call from my wife to say supper's ready. So that actually changes the way I play now, because I decide to really go quite aggressive, because I actually want to go and eat my supper. So I'm quite happy to go out and just sacrifice the 160 Rand here. But anyway, I got pocket jacks, obviously not a bad hand, and certainly I'm looking to get it all in here. We have a raise there of 12,000, and then another raise of 22. And at this stage, I know I'm in trouble. One of them's definitely probably got me beat. But anyway, I'll go all in anyway, because I'm just at this point thinking, let's go and have supper. Fully 101 thinks about it and will probably fold. I get the call there, and there's another one there, and the cards are flipped. And you'll see here what I like about it. My chances were 87.9. That is now after the flop. I was lower than that beforehand, because I'm up against a pair of queens. But I got very lucky on the flop here, hitting the jacks. Obviously sitting in a good position at the moment. And the king comes out. I obviously don't want to see a 10 to give a straight, or another ace or king would have killed me as well. But I go there and now move into first position. I'm dealt 5, 6, 5 of spades, 6 of clubs in this hand. And I think this is just one of my spillover edits. Nothing much happening there. And yeah, I'm probably going to go and have a look at what the prize money is now. I think we're sitting at level 16, so we're firmly into the freeze out here at this point. King 6 of diamonds, and I just make the call here. Let's go have a look at the payouts. At this stage, first prize is paid 14.80, and I need to come fourth to make 411, which will effectively be about triple my investment. So fourth place at this stage is the minimum target for me. Panic Stations just checks in the big blind. I've got 2 diamonds there, and there's an all-in. Now, this one, I guess my options here are fold. Well, Panic Station still has to play, but my options are fold or call. Yeah, interested to know what you do in this situation. I've got quite a lot of chips. I think I could probably make the call here, but I actually end up making the fold. I think this is a bit of a weak fold on my part. Of course, I don't know what would have happened, but I had a pretty strong hand. I mean, if I'd hit a diamond on the last 2 cards. So I think a bit of a weak fold there from me, particularly given supper was being served. I'm now dealt, excuse me, ace king of diamonds, and we're down to 11 players. Bit of a weak call here, but sometimes I do like to call these hands. I was almost at this stage baiting people to try and go all in, because of the sort of rush I was in here. So I just called the ace king. Certainly, I think in most cases you would raise there. Panic Stations has no hesitation in calling. Oh, sorry, in going all in for 43. And at this point, I'm happy to call that. And we'll have a look once Fully makes his decision here. Folds, and look, there I am, 73% favorite up against ace 6. So looking pretty good at this point. The flop comes, and I'm still looking strong, but there's the 6 to give Panic Stations a pair. And yeah, it was a good call at the end of the day, I think, from me there. But I'm now down to 5th place out of 11. I get dealt pocket queens. I'm in the big blind. Let's have a look how the guys go here. Fully tends to be someone who thinks quite a lot about his hand. I must say, I have sped this up to about 1.5 times speed now. I'm a very fast player. I would be happy to have these times halved. And not it's still a lot faster playing online than playing a cash game. So anyway, put a raise in there, take it down with my pocket queens. I'm now sitting 2nd out of 10. We're nearing the final table of 8. And I've got pocket 8s at this point. Just go and have a check of what's happening with the prize money there, and get folds around to Free Wheelie, who just checks. I decided to try and take this down with a half-pot bet of 7,000. Free Wheelies having nothing. None of that. He calls me. I now have to make a decision whether to really go for this pot or just to step back. And a bit of weak bet there, perhaps, from me, 14,000. Hoping that I'm looking like I want him to call me, because the reality is I don't want him to call me. He actually goes all in, and I fold. So I think a bit of weak play from me there. I think if I was that 14,000 bet was a bit weak. I should have gone either folded or either checked, or I should have gone all in there and really put him under pressure. So I think it was weak play, and it ended up costing me chips. I'm now dealt a pocket pair of 7s, and my strategy in these situations is normally just to try and get to the flop. So I just called the big blind here of 5,000, and there's an all-in raise, and I'm quite happy to call it with my sevens. I actually go in 66% favorite here, and nothing like hitting a 7 on the flop. Just a bit worried about him pulling a straight on the river, but at the end of the day, that didn't happen. You'll see now I'm pushed straight to the final table, and we go into the final table actually 79,000 chips right there, somewhere around about the third position. We'll have a look at that now. I get dealt ace 4 in the first hand, and let's have a look. I'm also, once again, considering the fact that at this stage I'm in a lot of trouble domestically because I haven't gone for sup. I did race through during the break to explain that I was playing in a poker game, but it didn't go down very well. I was also under a bit of pressure to win. My wife always seems to sort of forgive me a lot quicker if I win a few rand at the table. So I decided to go all in there now with my ace 4. I think it was quite a strong move, a bit of a risky one, but Johnny Boy does fold there, and I'm up to a first position. I've got ace jack suited here, and I just make the call to the early raise there of fully of 15,000. Perhaps a bit of a weak move there. Should probably have gone in more aggressively. Although at the end of the day, well, these ace jack's not the strongest hand, but the fact that it's suited, I just love to see that flop as well. So quite happy to see a flop. Don't hit the flop there. I'm expecting fully's now probably going to put me under pressure with a bet. As I say, 15,000. I've got to make a decision. I've still got an overcard there in the ace. I make the call. Once again, perhaps a bit weak. I probably should have put him under a bit of pressure there. Could have played that a bit differently. And I now go for the bet of 45,000, and he does fold. So in the end, I get away with it there. I'm in first position, and I get dealt an ace 9 of hearts. And at the end of the day, I have a bit of connection problems in this hand. Now, I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi, but something that happens to other guys, someone's on Pokerbet. But you'll see here, I'm sort of playing, and then all of a sudden, and it'll be a bit sped up, but I get pushed out and come back in. This is not me going out here, and you'll hear that beep there to mean I'm eating into my time, and I suddenly had to get back in. But anyway, no harm done. I decided to bet 20,000 here to see if I can get one call. I wouldn't mind a caller here. I do get it. I get 2 hearts. There are, of course, 2 queens on the board there, but I've now got the nut flush draw. He goes all in. Do I call with my heart draw? I do. And he actually hits 2 pair there, and I do not get my flush draw. So a big knock to me from a chip perspective there. But I'm quite happy with the way I played that at the end of the day. I don't think there's a problem. I could have knocked him out had the heart come. I now get dealt pocket 8s once again, and I'm sitting in the small blinds of 3,000, 6,000. So we get a call from Free Wheelie, Panic Stations, giving it a bit of thought. And of course, I am thinking about 4th spot at this stage. There's a raise from Johnny Boy of 17.7. I call. Also, possibly could have made an argument for a raise there. Red Running Hood. He comes in all in once again. This is a hand I might fold in some cases. If I'm really looking at the bubble, at the 4th place. But at this stage, I'm hungry. So I call 63,000 all in there. 3 spades. I do have an 8 of spades, which could help me. I decide just to go all in at this point. No point sitting with 21,000 chips. And I am very happy to see the 8 arrive. And all of a sudden, I'm a comfortable chip lead on 224,000. So that's one of those cases. I don't think I played the hand particularly well, but ultimately ended up maximizing with 2 guys going in with me. I jump ahead a little bit now. Not really much happened after that. I didn't have great cards. Took a couple of knocks here or there. But this is a hand I want to show you because it's a massive swing hand in how this goes. I'm up against Johnny Boy. He's on 450,000. I'm on 125,000. And I've been dealt King 9 of clubs here. Now, this is a big swing hand, and I'll show you why now. Right, I decide to go all in. He calls me. He's got Queen 10. I've got King 9. King 9 comes. I've got 2 pairs against his 10. But look at this. 5 spades come, which means we tie it. Now, I would have jumped up to 269 and pretty much been thereabouts with him, and it would have been a massive swing. But as it happens, I get my money back, and I'm still sitting quite well behind. And in fact, the next hand, I think it was, we go on. I am, folded 1 or 2 hands. I'm well behind now. I've got to take a position. King, Queen, that's good enough for me. I'm going to go all in here, no doubt about it. Order. Called. Gee, okay, well, that's interesting. I would normally have gone all out. Anyway, he goes all in, and I decide to call him there. He's got a 10. I've still got every chance of coming right. but unfortunately it wasn't to be. But good news though, by finishing the second in the tournament, I did win 822 rand, and not a bad day's work that, and I'm quite happy with the return at the end of the day. But what I found interesting about this session really was the fact that I was actually pushed for time. Although I ended up staying the whole tournament, I was under a bit of pressure, and certainly not the greatest way to play. But in this case, it worked to my advantage that pocket jacks early, and I've made a couple of sort of calls that maybe I wouldn't have if I wasn't under pressure, and it did work in my favor. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the vlog. I'm going to keep them coming. It helps me learn the game when I actually analyze my own game afterwards as well. A reminder that if you do enjoy the show, please do hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And you can also sign up to our newsletter below. Thanks very much, everyone, and have a good punting week.